thought the enthusiasm was going to die down after the primaries. And I think I'm on the record of saying it's only the beginning, folks. Now, it is very exciting.
Shut down the Fed! 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 Shut down the Fed!
Young people were listening, and they did care about and understood something about the Federal Reserve System. I was very pleased. I got the applause when we went after the Fed, but what really fascinated me is when they started pulling out Federal Reserve notes and burning them. Probably the ashes are going to be worth more than the paper pretty soon at the rate we're going. So,
unrelentingly intervene in the affairs of other nations and regions, and by all appearances, care not a damn about preserving America's independence. These individuals aspire to be celebrated citizens of the world, believing that being an American citizen is a humdrum affair, best left to the rest of us who pay for their imperial aspirations and interventionist wars with our taxes and soldier children. When we celebrated Independence Day 8 days ago, no party leader had the moral courage to tell Americans the truth, which is that in the last 50 years, both parties have eviscerated our independence in regard to the single most important issue of foreign policy, that is the decision on whether or not to go to war. Both parties, for example, have failed to move the United States to energy security since the first Arab embargo in 1973. Instead of freeing our economy from the Arab-held dagger that is pointed at its heart, American presidents, Democrats and Republicans, have shamefully groveled, begging for more oil from their energy-producing masters in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and other Muslim police states. The same presidents have so enormously overspent the public treasury that they have put America further in the thrall of the Arab tyrants, who buy an ever-increasing portion of our debt. Because of this cowardly leadership, Americans find that they have lost control of the decision of whether to go to war. If an anti-Saudi unrest in the kingdom's eastern province ever severely curtails oil production, U.S. soldiers and Marines will automatically deploy there to protect the Saudis' police state and to restore production. And the reality of the automatic war for oil goes beyond the Arab world. By 2012, the United States will receive 20% of its crude from Africa's Niger Delta and the Gulf of Guinea. If production in that region, which is already being plagued by insurgent attacks, is ever significantly reduced, U.S. soldiers and Marines will automatically be deployed there to restore production. And if you think the insurgencies being fought today in Iraq and Afghanistan are nightmares, wait until our men and women are fighting in the Niger Delta's 27,000 square kilometers of swamp and forest. We also have lost control of the peace or war decision because our bipartisan elite has decided to involve America almost inextricably in the unending and unendable war between Arabs and Israelis. Ignoring and even ridiculing the Founding Fathers' explicit guidance to avoid involving the United States in other people's wars, both parties have not only done so in the Middle East, but they have blithely involved us in other people's religious wars. Can there be any better definition of an insane foreign policy than the one that today finds the United States not only being involved voluntarily in someone else's war, but backing both of the major antagonists in that war, Israel and Saudi Arabia? By being the main financer and unquestioning protector of Israel, and the only protector of the fundamentally anti-American Saudi state, Washington has created a situation in which America will be drawn into the next Arab-Israeli war, no matter what the wishes or interests of the American people. Used to describe what it takes to make a successful revolution, I call not upon a few, but all, Paine wrote in December 1776. Not on this state or that state, but on every state. Up and help us. Lay your shoulders to the wheel. Better to have too much force than too little when so great an object is at stake. Let it be told to the future world that in the depth of winter, when nothing but hope and virtue could survive, the city and country, alarmed at one common danger, I thank God, Paine wrote, that I fear not. I see no real cause for fear. I know our situation well and can see the way out of it.
Our lives for. We swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, but we found out the hard way that the greatest enemies of the Constitution are not to be found in the sands of some far-off land, but rather right here at home. We are your new winter soldiers, and we are still defending America. We bring the values, skills, and commitment that make us warriors to the fight before us today. We are working to end the war by strategically withdrawing our material support and inspiring others to do the same. By advocating for veterans, we are empowering soldiers to become successful civilians. With Truth in Recruiting, we are inspiring a generation of young Americans to find a better way to serve their country than dying for empire. And by supporting those who are actively resisting, we inspire further resistance and ensure that soldiers still have the right, as is their duty, to disobey illegal orders. During the siege of Fallujah, a young Lance Corporal was shot through the side of his flak jacket in a firefight to the west of the city. The bullet hit an artery near his spine. My team was called to help get him to the field hospital at Camp Decotum. He was in a stretcher in the Humvee in front of me, and I watched as the corpsman treated the external wounds in a frightened, hurried panic as the dust from the hot road swirled around us. When we got there, I carried him in as he moaned and writhed in pain, barely conscious. He flailed his arm off the stretcher, and I put it back by his side, and I told him, "Don't worry, you made it. You're going to be okay." But he died only minutes later from the internal bleeding. I have to live with that memory every day, but I have learned from it. I will not tell you that the Band-Aids applied by Democrats and Republicans will heal us. I will not pretend that everything is just going to be okay while we are bled dry by tyrants. And if it takes the last full measure of devotion, I will not allow the same fate to befall this country.
I am sunburned, man. I am a lobster. I'm a lobster.
So how was the rally?
It was very interesting. I had a great experience, and it was good to hear Adam Kokesh and hear Dr. Ron Paul speak, and it's good to see, you know?
There's a little bit of hope there.
Yeah, hope.
Got to build
hope
upon
can
it.
be a good thing. It is a good thing.
It was good to meet you.
Yeah, man. Good to meet you too, Czar.